Okay.
It's gonna be fun.
Fuck yeah. Headlights, new headlights. Also, the homie's helping with new headlights, so you don't have to pay for the company helping with new headlights.
Mm-hmm. Don't have to pay for mechanic.
A non-homie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rufus.
Okay.
Just gotta remember that I owe him the next time we're in the same city.
Here we
Yeah,
are.
buy them headlights.
Or buy them, or I could get them like a. They're not like liquor people though.
I would disagree with that.
They have like a whole cabinet of it that they don't drink though.
They're never home. They drink on the road.
That's that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of we might go see them for 4th of July. So I'm trying to think if maybe I can bring them a gift or something.
I mean, find out which, if, even if they're never home and not drinking from their stock of liquor, when they are home, if they are drinkers, they're drinking from their stock of liquor. They're just never home. So if you find out what his favorite is, you could buy him a nice bottle of that, right?
They always, without fail, get tequila soda.
Yep.
Nice bottle of tequila, easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Love that ranch water.
Ranch water. Just the sound of ranch water makes me sick.
Yeah.
You can smell it when you say it.
Can we hear you, Mike? I've just realized that I'm not 100%
I don't know.
sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay.
Sure can.
All right.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Hello, everybody. Let's see. I don't know. I need a different kind of intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice. Different one. We're doing a little side mission today. This one I have titled Bermuda Bay for now. We'll see we'll see where it ends up or whatever happens with it. But we're doing a little side game here. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but I've been introduced to it by our lovely GM. The commoner class is like my favorite. I love it so much. I love how cripplingly weak it is. Everything can kill you. The swift breeze, if it hits you hard enough, you die. Your bones break and you turn into dust. And that's the coolness of a commoner, I think. I just love it. I like the intensity it brings. Plus, the ease of me disagreeing with their final level is very easy for me. I don't like the idea of getting rid of everything you've worked towards in commoner, because the final level for commoner is like reset, build a character. And they're like, well, sometimes like you may have learned magic in these low levels, but you still turn into a barbarian. And that's cool if you do, but I don't think you should be like negged on that magic that you actually did learn, and like, that shouldn't disappear to me. Unless there's a narrative reason that anyone thinks it should. That's just more of a mechanic thought. So commoners, created by the Warlock homebrew, just to shout them out, because it's a fantastic subclass, or class. Creating, yes, a below level 1 commoner in which, like I just said, that everything can kill you and you're a little bit weaker, but it like really helps you inform, I think, character building. And as a lot of like humans, especially in our society, the base level person I feel like would be a commoner, even if we have higher regards of ourselves, right? We are not a wizard. We are not someone who can actually probably wield a sword 2 attacks in 1 turn, whatever that means. But we are probably commoners. We do probably have a cowardly fear or are very talkative like myself. That would definitely be my negative. Yeah. Before we do begin, I just helped Grace a little bit with her character creation. Are there any questions or, comments or concerns about any of this that we should go over before we dive in?
I don't think so. And if I have any, I will ask them. But right now, I think I'm good.
Cool. I also mentioned to Grace in our brief moment of chatting that while we are going to be playing in a 1920s like situation, in the world of the 20s, we're definitely not playing in the world of like, we're going to play in a different world adjacent from their racism and sexism that is rampant and here. Like, I'm not really going to play super hardcore in that. You know, we used a little bit of like women's status in the 20s to inform some of Grace's character building. But at any point, if you're like, I just don't want to play in that, like, we can just play in a normal space. I'm not worried about it like fitting into that. Just so you're aware. That feels important to me because this is an era rampant with bad treatment of other people. Yeah, cool. So on that note, 1920s America, on the come up industrially and economically. There is a surge, huge surge of what are they called? People that come from another place.
Immigrants?
Immigrants. There's a huge surge of immigrants from all over the world to America, the promised land. Random words are the things I lose. And this is in the mid 1920s, no more true than in Miami, Florida, on the cusp of its industrial revolution. We are exactly in post-world era, which for America was absolutely a boom. We have the introduction of like household radios for the first time, things like that are actually giving people the chance to have more senses of entertainment, things like that. The city of Miami that we will be beginning in is, like I said, in a big industrial boom. There are actual clubs popping up. There are people enjoying the nightlife. This is just after the end of Prohibition, and so people are going a lot harder on these things than, you know, maybe previous. Leaving out of this port in a matter of hours at this moment is the largest cruise ship that anyone in America has ever seen. The Bermuda Bay liner is going to set out in a triangle from down. Fuck me, I had a whole triangle planned. One moment.
That's the name?
Yeah, all the way down to fuck me, I had a whole triangle planned. One moment, please.
How undignified.
I know. They changed that in 1932. Something. Puerto Rico. You're going to travel through the islands down in like the Tropics of Cancer over to Puerto Rico and then up to Bermuda and then back over to Florida. Crossing vaguely into the depth of the ocean, but mostly sticking towards this sort of nearby land to, you know, the continents and the islands themselves. The area around the ship is in a hubbub, right? People are in the midst of preparations. I think the first to arrive on the boat is our character, Carl Knuckles. Mike, you're working the boat, correct?
That is correct.
Cool. Talk to us a little bit about Carl Knuckles.
Well, Carl is the engine mechanic. He was not originally supposed to be on this boat, but they came to him and said, look, we really need somebody who's going to assure the boat's going to run like clockwork. We need you to be on board to make sure we get to our destination and back. So he reluctantly took on this task.
On that, I will say that this is a very, very big ship. The biggest ship that Carl Knuckles has ever worked on. That definitely requires a team of mechanics. Are you?
Yeah.
Did they bring you on as sort of the head of this team of mechanics?
Yeah,
just to, like, sort
he's the mechanical know-how guy who was brought on to ensure that everybody else is doing what they're supposed to and they're not missing those things, and he's sort of got that mechanical mojo.
What is Carl a particularly charismatic individual?
No, he's kind of gruff. In fact, his philosophy is, you know, if he's not worn out, the job's not done. So he runs his teams pretty hard, and he's pretty gruff, and, you know, he barks orders, but stuff gets done, and he's just doing it because that's how he does things.
Okay. The ship has been in this bay for a little over a week now, as these final preparations have been done. I'd imagine that a lot of your time has been spent on it, that you maybe have moved onto this boat at the beginning of the week, right? Give me, from Carl, during this prep time, a investigation check as you're going over your status and your stations.
Excellent. That would be a 13.
This ship seems top of the line. All of the stuff is way higher tech than what you're used to, but it makes sense, right? It's the next level up. You can figure it out in this week. That's kind of what you're tasked to do. There's not like a huge layer of professionals on this stuff. You being one of them and now having to learn on the job. But what you do notice is that this stuff has been purposefully, like, it's not like top of the line straight from the factory stuff. It's some of it, a lot of it has been repurposed, but really well welded together and secured. And this whole engine room and, you know, the general gist of the boat is far more secure than you would actually be expecting for a trip like this. The hubbub around the boat, though, in this past day has increased. Crowds have begun to gather to see the spectacle of this whole thing. Along with that, the gathering of the crowds, I would imagine that Dibney Smoot has made his way, at least to the crowds at this moment. As Dibney approaches, what is his initial approach to the situation?
Has Okay, if we're in the crowd, if we're approaching the ship, I think Dibney has donned his disguise. Dibney, let's real quick introduce Dibney Smoot, the part gumshoe, part journalist, general hopeful newsie in the search of a big scoop. He has come to this ship because he received a tip that there were mysterious goings on with the owner operator of the ship. Doesn't know a whole lot more than that. But he has assumed that because this is mysterious and potentially swanky, he needs a disguise and he needs a fake identity. And so he has crafted one for himself. Ladies and gentlemen of the line, meet... Oh boy, I've forgotten my own dumb name that I made up.
Let's see. I forgot my meet. Yeah. I'm.
It's in the chat.
There it is.
Vester N. Gates of the Gates fortune.
Vester N. Gates. Yes, Vester N. Gates of the Gates fortune. And he comes wearing a slightly battered suit, a monocle that does not have a piece of glass in it, and a mustache that he has fashioned for himself from a paintbrush using a pair of scissors.
You're up in this crowd as you've approached.
Yes.
The note that you received was scrawled piece of paper from a contact that the maiden voyage of the Bermuda Bay is not the first time it has not the first time they have attempted this voyage. And that is what you've come to inspect. Like, why is that important? What does that mean? Why do we know nothing about this previous voyage
How
from
come?
the
How
company?
come this is the first voyage of the Bermuda Bay? Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
There are some
It's
people
giving
beginning.
Kermit the Frog, but like fancy.
I think that's actually what I was going for. So
Oh, there you go.
game C is
More like
game. Thank you.
What a
Kermit
disguise if not
Von
a
Frog.
puppet. Kermit Von
Yes.
Frog.
Kermit the Bond. Yes.
The name's Frog. Kermit the Frog.
In donning a disguise of what seems to be a wealthy person, I would imagine your goal is to push people's attention away from you. Like, they look at you as a rich person, but then they're like, I shouldn't spend too much time on this person, right?
I thought I was going to blend in with the crowd. Do I?
Yeah, I think, yes, a large portion of this crowd is definitely the wealthy. There are some middle class here, but very few. Definitely the upper middle class.
Exceptional.
In this moment, as you're approaching, there are some folks beginning to load their stuff, like check in their tickets with the guy at the bottom of the ramp, and load a few suitcases, up. The ship is leaving in a few hours. Down at the end, near the back of the ship, there is another wider ramp in which larger crates are being loaded up by the crew, seemingly, the supplies for the voyage.
Is this the thing that I see?
Yeah. This is This is just kind of curious. I guess maybe the lead up was more, how do you approach this boat? Do you go in through the ticket check guy? Do you try to sneak on as an investigator? Like, what's your play?
I think my first play. Okay. Is to roll a perception check as far as just like the security level. I just want to brief scan the between the ticket taker and the cargo dock, what looks less secure. And that is a 16.
Yeah. The ticket taker, no one's really getting up his ramp without passing him. He is at the very bottom of it. So, if you come up the guest ramp, you got to check in your ticket with the ticket taker. He's doing his job pretty well. The crew in the back, a lot of them are in street clothes, like they've just come onto the job today and haven't been given a uniform, right? So as they carry things up and down from a really large stack of stuff, this is going to take the few hours until they depart. Some people are in uniform, but some people are just in street clothes doing this carrying. So secure-wise, that back entrance, you could don street clothes and grab a box and maybe slip your way on.
Okay, well, since this is the 20s, street clothes are a little bit nicer than they are today. I'm gonna take off my suit coat. I'm gonna take out my monocle, but I'm gonna leave the mustache. And I'm gonna go over to where whatever the stack of cargo is that they're picking up, and I'm going to just try and insinuate myself into the situation. Just hoist up some luggage and walk aboard.
As you bend down to pick up a crate, you hear a voice shout. She says, "You there, oi! Help me pick up this larger box." And you look over to see a bulkier woman bending down to pick up one side of a pretty large box. She's like, "We don't got all day." I certainly am. We don't got all day.
Absolutely, yes. I think this actually is Dibney Smoot.
No, that's Dibney's reel.
Yeah, no. I was gonna try and think of a second voice, but I this is fun. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go over and hoist this thing?
I need you to give
What
me
is
a
it?
strength check. It's just all of these boxes are just giant crates, right? They're boxed up to easily make it on. This is heavy as you bend down to help.
Okay. Strength 13.
Okay.
All right. That's a 19.
Yeah. It's heavy, but you know how to lift. You know how to blend in. This isn't probably your first time blending in with a work crew to like get in undercover.
The key is to lift with your shins.
She adjusts, and the two of you hoist the box almost effortlessly. And she nods and she says, well, what's your name? Don't think I've seen you around. New on the job?" As you two start making your way towards the ramp.
Yes, Gator's the name. Hoisting boxes is the game.
This guy's gonna have 100 pseudonyms, and he's never gonna remember them. There's always gonna be a new pseudonym every time he's introduced. I love it.
Wait, I should have did that better.
Gator, nice to meet you.
The
I'm
name's-
Marge.
The name's Gator.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
this
it
Made
does.
so many changes.
is this loading ramp near the ticket ramp?
It is on the other side of the ship where
Okay,
I
never
will.
mind.
Yeah. It is like not like the other. Not
Like the
like
front and the
port to
back?
starboard. Yeah, front to back. So like huge cruise line. It's probably about a 50-foot walk down the dock to this other ramp, and 50 feet might even be short. But as Gator goes up the dock with Marge carrying large crate effortlessly. Our camera pans around to the crowd. Nearing the front of the crowd, we see God, so many new names. A young woman approach and break through the front of the crowd. Beryl, introduce us to how you approach this boat.
Yes,
Did
hello.
you say barrel?
Yes,
Errol.
so this name is based off of a real dead person who was born in the 20s that I
Like Berryl?
Beryl is how
Okay.
the
Okay.
OG Beryl spelled it, and I was inspired by her
OG.
name. Yes.
Beryl.
So, my name is Beryl Van Cortlandt, and I have my one suitcase with, you know, all that mommy and daddy would let me take. I couldn't take everything, unfortunately. But I'm here to see the world, and this was a present from my parents because I was so good and I didn't cause any trouble. And they also want to throw parties all the time, and I get in the way. So I'm going on a cruise.
Dibney Smoot from Smoot Weekly. Question.
Yes.
Actually, I didn't know if you were gonna go with that bit. I hadn't thought of a question.
All right. I've got.
What part of the world are you most excited to see?
Oh, well, I actually don't know where we're going. I didn't book my ticket,
Oh,
so it's going to be a surprise. I'm so excited.
who booked your ticket?
Oh, well, that would be Daddy. He takes care of everything. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Because she's really excited, so she's gonna book it past this random guy with a weird facial hair.
Just one.
The flashback
One
from
single-
when Smoot was in the line.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. As Beryl passes Smoot, that is when Smoot notices this other line at the back of the boat and easy tie-in. But Beryl, I imagine you head with your suitcase right to the ticketman.
Yes, yes. I produced my ticket from my little handbag, and
Greetings, young lady.
hello. Here is my ticket.
And he holds it up to the sun like he's checking, but mostly just for show. And he brings it down. He punches a hole in it with great showmanship, and he flicks his wrist towards you.
She's very impressed. She's very impressed.
He loves that. He's like, you enjoy your cruise. If there's anything I can do to help out along the journey, please let me know.
Oh, why, thank you. You're so kind. And
Uh,
Beryl is very sheltered. She just is super excited about everything. She's looking around. She's in awe of how big how big the ship is, how many people are already on board. She's staring at the ocean. She's seeing seagulls. She's just into everything.
Yeah. And as she crests the top of the ramp and sees the deck of the Bermuda Bay for the first time, I think she is awestruck. Not necessarily in its size and grandeur, but more just the fact that it is on a boat. You've not seen this before, and that's cool. Your pool at home might actually be bigger, but this is a huge pool, and it's on a boat, and it's right in front of you, and there's a slide, and there's like a big fountain next to the... Nope, that would be wild if a ship was driving with a big fountain on it, right? It would just like spray off behind it. That'd be goofy. But there is a big pool, and you're really enjoying that. Some hot tubs, like places to lay out and sun. Very clearly like game courts. No one is quite utilizing any of this at the moment because most people are getting in and getting their rooms set up.
Is there badminton?
Of course, there's
Oh,
yeah,
heck
of course.
yeah.
Badminton on a cruise. Why wouldn't that be the easiest thing ever? There's a sign. You know what? There's a sign that says badminton courts on deck 2.
Beryl actually brought her own racket. It's monogrammed.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Is it monogrammed with your full name or with your initials?
BC.
Okay. Perfect. What is Beryl's like first business heading to her room and getting set up?
Yeah, she wants to get settled so that she can go explore. She's ready to set her stuff down and get out of here.
Beryl, I would like you to roll me a... Maybe this is a luck check, but I think it is a luck check. It's a luck check to see how much... You know what? Let's make it a charisma check. How much money Daddy spent on you to talk about like your room.
Is that a D20?
Yes, D20 plus your charisma modifier.
Woohoo! That is a 19. Beryl was loaded, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, Beryl.
She's still loaded. She doesn't even know where the money comes from. She just knows that it exists and she has it.
Beryl, not only when you get to the top of the ramp do you notice this almost obscene display of wealth on this cruise, but there is actually a short in stature woman with a tray standing next to you almost immediately when you make it to the top of the ramp, and she says, "What's your last name?" Cortland?
Van Cortland.
Miss Van Cortland, if you would follow me this way, I would lead you to your suite.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
And she turns around on a dime and in perfect step walks up the deck and towards... you can see that on either end of the deck, there's two kind of living area, or like what would be housing areas. The windows on the right side towards the front of the deck, far bigger, and that is where she is leading you. And she leads you into that housing, sleeping sort of area. And as you enter into that sleeping area, I'd like to say that Samson Billfold is already on the boat as a guest. Samson is here as a guest.
Yeah, I think Samson has just gotten back. We take a quick moment here. Samson has just gotten back from yelling at the people who are loading the boats with the big boxes. I believe his name was Gator. So from whenever you guys are loading up that big heavy box, Gator, you hear from I don't know, a couple levels up, Hey, you better be careful with that box. That's got all kinds of product in it. Got all kinds of free samples. That's very important for my business. Well, not my business, but John's business. He invented the polygraph. One of my most successful projects. Anyway, be careful with that. Seriously.
Don't you worry, sir. I'm a professional.
Marge says, "Yeah, honestly, he taught me some tricks already. First day on the job. Glad we hired him."
All right.
I'm the very best.
All right. Well, you keep teaching your box tricks to everybody. Gotta be careful with this stuff. And then he just immediately turns left and starts heading into the boat. The nice section of the boat, of course.
The nice section of the boat, of course.
He
Samson
looks
Billfold.
spiffy. He's wearing a nice black suit, bow tie, hair a little bit unkempt, beard a little strange, but it's more about making an impact. He wants to be memorable.
Sounds to me like
Anytime.
Samson is a salesman. What is Samson? Oh wait, polygraph. Is he? What is Samson?
Well, I do a lot of things. I'm an investor. I'm an ideas guy. I'm a sweet talker. I do all kinds of things. I'm sort of like the business associate of a lot of different folks, a lot of different projects, a lot of different inventors, that kind
He's
of
a
thing.
glommer. He gloms on.
I wouldn't say that.
You know, you wouldn't. Of course, you wouldn't. Samson, you have secured yourself a room and the nicer front housing section of this boat, but on the lower floor of it, on the deck floor, in the night, towards the back, the nicer area where there's less engagement, passers-by, whatnot, some privacy, if you will. Your room is big, it's sparse. You have gotten your suitcases and your suits into the closets that are there so that they aren't remaining wrinkled in the suit bags, even if you have a wonderful suit bag that folds them beautifully in half. You
No,
pull
they're
them
a
out
little
when you get
wrinkled.
there. Okay. Okay. But you're settled in. As you get settled in, what is your first what do you do first on this cruise after you have your final suit hung and you look around your room realizing you are unpacked for what will be the remainder of this cruise, basically?
Oh, well, he, of course, is going to immediately go to the finest dining establishment on the ship. He's not going to order anything initially. He's just going to have a couple of drinks, talk around, make an appearance. Make sure everybody knows that Samson Billfold is on the ship.
The lower decks is the sort of fine dining establishment. It is the lowest. It is the lowest. It is even below the engine room. The boat has had this built onto the bottom of it. It is a giant glass encased room. They swear it's safe, which I bet in the 1920s it's not. But they swear up and down it is. And even the engineer has given it his seal of approval as he's looked it over with his investigations to make sure that the lower decks can actually serve. But where you found yourself is in a glass encased room underwater next to the deck, because you guys haven't left yet. But at the bar, some folks have begun to do just exactly what you're doing, get a drink at the bar. This place hasn't begun to fill up yet, though.
So Samson's going to say to the bartender, "Oh, man, all this water, it really got me thinking about that time that I helped... You ever heard of water skiing?"
Sure, you just can't be skiing off the back of the cruise.
Well, I mean, I helped old Ralphie boy. He figured that out. He and I we spent so much time on his ship, just really making sure that we could ski off the back of it. You ever been water skiing? It's a kind of a new hip thing.
Nah, I work on boats. I don't play on boats.
Oh, you really gotta mix business with pleasure. That's really the most effective way that I've found.
Huh. Okay.
Say, how about I get you a drink?
What? No, you can't. I'm the bartender.
Well, I
just
don't
gonna
mean
say
now. That would be crazy. But how about you and me, Samson Billfold, get a drink later?
Sure. Samson, I'll be off in about 8 hours. I just started.
Yeah,
Name's
I'll see you at some point. It's a long ship ride. It's a
Jameson.
long ship.
Sure.
Your name is Jameson?
Sure is.
Cool. I'll remember that, Jonathan.
No. Jameson. He reaches out.
Sorry,
a
I've
hand.
got to go. I'm very busy.
Okay. Where do you go to?
I go and I'm gonna look around the room, see if anybody's eating. Is anybody eating in this establishment?
Not to neg, but I don't think so yet, because people are still like getting on the boat, right? There's a couple people that have come to get a drink at the bar like yourself, but I think that, maybe not in that conversation, but through your conversations with Jameson that the kitchen is still actually closed for another few hours.
Okay,
As we're getting up and running.
All right. Well, then he's just gonna enjoy his drink, and he's gonna
You
look
can offer
very.
you some bar nuts.
What's the word? He's gonna look very quizzically out at the water around us, which I guess is mostly just like the underside of a dock. He's gonna look very, very quizzically at the underside of the dock to our left.
As everyone gets settled in, the horn of the boat blares. There is someone on the docks that smashes a champagne bottle on the back of the ship as it departs off and towards Puerto Rico through the islands. As it does so, we see... I have to look at these names a million times. Samson Billfold down in the lower decks, watching underwater as some of the fish part ways around the boat, and the boat leaves the dock into the murky waves behind you. We scan up a floor. We see Carl Knuckles hard at work, commanding a team of both engineers and probably at this point some form of I don't know if it's like coal shoveling, but something to power. It feels like a big ship like this should have looked up. Boilers. Interesting. Okay, running the team of engineers just to make sure that the boilers are staying at capacity. This takes eyes. This is dangerous stuff. And you are boisterous, you are loud, but you are direct about what needs to be done in this very loud working space. We scan up another few floors. We see Dibney Smoot taking a hard-earned break after helping Marge carry a few too many larger crates, but having safely made his way on under the radar as Gator. No one ever saw whatever your other pseudonym was get on the boat.
Something Gates of the Gate fortune.
Vester and Gates.
Vester and Gates. That's who I am now. I have, yes, redonned my monocle and and
but not
suit
changed
coat.
the voice.
Nope, this is my
the only one I got.
I can't do any other voice.
If your voice was actually like that normally, I would believe that. I would believe that that's all you got.
That's all you got.
I will take it as a compliment. Yes, for the moment, Dibney Smoot is headed for the very same hoity-toity section that that the others have headed for. That's actually entirely incorrect. Dibney's looking for the crew quarters. Dibney's looking for like the crew stuff. That's what he's after.
Yeah, so in this moment, as we're panning up, Dibney has redonned his disguise, having been left alone after a little break by Marge. We see Dibney cracking the door into a hallway to begin his research, and the camera continues panning up to our final member, Beryl, at home, basically, in this beautifully ornate room at the very top of the wealthy living in this boat. You are looking out over the deck from your position, watching folks settle in and get comfortable.
I don't even know that there's rooms in the boat. I think, isn't everyone's floor just on top? That's all there is.
Everyone, this is the room. I didn't see other rooms as I passed.
Everything else is just like boat engine and boat things.
Boat stuff is in that room, clearly.
That's where the boat lives.
That's where the boat lives. I'm enjoying Beryl so far. And we watch from behind as the boat jetties off towards the islands in between. The first leg of this journey in between Miami and Puerto Rico is very smooth. You have very clear days. Honestly, it reaches the point where even Carl, you're able to take a step back and say, like, this is a good day. Everything has been super smooth, and I can trust these boys, like, or my crew, to do this job. They've shown already clearly. So you can even, like, this is smooth seas. Like, everyone is pretty relaxed and having a good time on this cruise. How do we spend this first leg of this journey? What do we get up to on this boat? What are our focuses?
Well, Beryl is hitting that badminton court as soon as she can. She's changed into a very, suitable, athletic 1920s dress. And she's got her racket with BC on it, and she's ready. And she's hoping that maybe there'll be some people she can play against.
Sure. Down on deck 2, there is a number of anything that would require like an indoor situation like this. I imagine there might be a fountain in this room. I'll tell you. That's what this room requires. But yeah, there is definitely a badminton court, tennis, kind of like your thrown ball sports, anything like that. They have maybe a small, even like half turf field in this boat. This is very high wealth. But you do find yourself on the badminton court. I feel like it's more of a persuasion check to draw in folks to play against you.
Okay.
Or you can do a perception to see if you can find someone. Either way.
Okay. Let's do persuasion. That's a 12. So I'm not really like persuading per se, but I'm like stretching so people can tell that, like, I mean, like, I know how to play. I'm not just like looking around, but I'm not being social enough to like ask if anyone wants to play with me.
Yeah, that's kind of the approach I kind of figured too, is that like you're showing that you're batting the badminton around a few times. Like there's a number of badmintons, so you can like launch a few across just to get that swing right. Your swings are going well and they're landing exactly where you want them to land, which for you is in the good spots, whatever that means. And this does draw the attention of a group of folks, all wearing like, ascots or like the sweaters tied around their their like collarbones with like boating shoes and shit like that, I imagine. But all whatever the 1920s version of that is, whatever. And they wander up, and the first one says, "Oh, well, we were about to play badminton, but I see there's already someone here. Fancy yourself a game?"
I would love to.
Fantastic. Step back, guys. I got this. If we win, would you mind if we have the court? We'd like to keep our practice up.
That seems fair. My name's Beryl, by the way. Beryl Van Cortlandt. And I hold up my hand, and my little charm bracelet like jingles.
The Van Cortlandts. He reaches his hand out and he accepts it elegantly, as someone of high class would do.
His hand is so smooth. It's
so smooth.
It's baby smooth.
Still wet with lotion smooth. But that good lotion, you feel it and you're like, oh, that's good lotion. He says,
Beryl rubs that in her hands. That's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
That?
Chester,
where did you get that imported from?
Chester St. Ives, my family makes it.
Oh my gosh, the St. Ives. Well, I have your bath lotion.
Everyone does.
Well, thank you. This was I'd love the game. And which one of the many St. Ives are you?
Am I? I'm
You
Chester.
said your family.
Chester St. Ives. My father, the progenitor of the St. Ives line. You know me, of course.
Yes.
From behind Beryl. From behind Beryl, the door opens and in walks full athletic attire,
Fuck yeah.
Samson Billfold, and he looks straight and he says, St. Ives, you son of a skid rogue.
Mm,
So that's like a
I'm
tank top
here
and
for that
fringe.
money.
they let just anyone on these ships now, even fakes like you, Billfold. I would say
Fakes?
good to see
I've
you,
got-
but
I don't have as much money as you, but I've got money.
you definitely don't have as much money as me. I have an imaginary amount that could be higher than yours no matter what you say you have.
That's his
Stupid.
friends laughing behind him.
Yeah, everyone laughing is his friends right now. He's fucking high-fiving all of them. He's like, would you like to get in on this game, Billfold? We could make this doubles.
Well, it looks like to me that this sister here needs a partner. What's your name?
Errol Van Cortlandt. And I'm
Oh.
laying it down.
Beryl Van Cortlandt, please, absolutely. Nice to meet you. Very, very nice to meet you. Yes, absolutely. If you need a hand to trounce these layabouts, I'd be more than happy to help out.
Layabouts, I'd be
Let's
careful
trounce.
there, Van Cortlandt. He's a snake.
Well, better a
You-
snake than a slippery eel.
I'm gonna tell them not to sell you St. Ives anymore.
Just have Daddy buy the company. I'm not worried about it.
Are
We'll
are you
see.
out on the roof already? Before the game has even begun?
Let's
That
go,
means he's been
Veronica.
drinking.
We have to trounce these fools. And a young raven-haired, dark-skinned woman runs up, and also her beautiful, full athletic attire, stark white, like she's it's never been stained. You might imagine she has 15 of these back in her room, and she trances up and she says, "We're gonna slay these fools, Chester." The other two, what are you up to right now as these guys prepare for, I guess, the badminton match of the century?
Okay, listen. I'm very good at badminton. How are you?
I think. Oh no, I think Emma's talking to.
You should use your badminton proficiency.
All nobles have them.
All nobles have them. Wow.
Excellent. Yes. There
You
it is. Yes.
you sound familiar. Are you Gator?
No, well, here's the thing.
No.
I do want to be at the badminton match because I feel like that's where the action is. But I want to see if I can resolve something with checks really quick first.
Yeah, no. I love that. We
Uh,
can also like get everyone at the badminton match by the end of whatever you're doing. I'm just curious what we are doing, if that is,
I want to make some checks to see if I can manage to pick up something that will allow me to alter my disguise and pass as crew, whether that's like a hat, because this is the 20s. Uniforms aren't as
Oh, yeah.
strictly a thing. So like if I can get a hat or a badge or like a thing, whatever the thing is, I'd like to make a check to get that so that I can then continue my surreptitious activities better disguised. But then whether or not I have that, I still do want to be at the badminton match.
You can't miss it,
100%.
man.
No. I mean,
gots to.
everyone's got to
No,
be
I've heard
there.
it's the match of the century.
It's the match of the century.
The first
Um,
match of a century aboard a boat.
Give me an
Probably.
investigation check.
Ooh, crit. At 20.
Yeah, when you were leaving the break room with Marge, or like alone, as you went to leave, you realized that there were lockers on lockers on lockers and crew uniforms. And you were able to distinguish between like there are certain uniforms that are more specific to like this person's a server. This person is like doing the like line work at the I don't know, on the like cooking line, but there is like a couple uniforms that are more you can tell especially with your nat 20, like the wide version where like these people are going to be all over the boats. One is a like, we're going to say like the cruise
Do you know
worker.
who? Do you know who gets to go everywhere in a boat? Hmm. The engineers get to go everywhere in a boat.
And the other is the engineers, the like workers that you have just helped out. Basically, you can find like one of those, we'll say, orange jumpsuits.
And thus begins the illustrious career of Gator the engineer. Yes.
All right, you
Nice.
pick up one of these burnt orange jumpsuits. It's dirty, not like drawing orange, but like that kind of like scuffed up burnt orange.
The mark of a professional is not in his skill set; it is in his bearing. Yes.
Yes.
I carry
And,
myself like a professional, and I am a professional at whatever I do.
the voice is gonna be sticky.
Here's the thing: is I keep drifting into Sparkalonius if I don't watch out.
Also, give me one more just investigation check for your time here, because your whole goal here, while you know, as a player want to end up at the game, unless you're there, your character wouldn't know about the game. So we're gonna make you there because we want that, but I want to figure out while you're doing an investigation how well that's going.
A 10.
A 10. Okay. I mean, it can't be going super well if where you find yourself is the athletic courts. There's not a lot of clues here for the boat, but you got to hit all of the spots. And so I think your thoughts are, especially in the first leg of this journey, is hit the spots that are least likely to have the most information, right? So you can really spend the time in the most likely spots, because you're digging around, you're like looking around, you're maybe interviewing a couple of the folks. I guess you're not, because you're in disguise. How are you?
I can make casual chit chat.
Yeah. What are you doing in this room in disguise?
Chit chatting casually.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Yes. The great sport of badminton. Named for Duke Bad of House Minton.
Minton.
Of Old York. I know them, you know.
And the server you're talking to is just saying, yeah, I
This
okay.
engineer is wild.
Is there just like, I get
I've
it,
just
but
got
could
the
I
clothes
get
with me.
back to work or something? Oh wait, so wait, you just have the clothes with you. You're in your street attire?
I'm still in my disguise.
Okay.
I've got my monocle. I just also have some engineer's clothes
Sure.
with me.
Bundled up under your arm.
You
No,
know,
with a nat
you know,
20,
I'm not
with a nat
sure if
20
I
they were in a
came
backpack.
with like any luggage.
I guess that's fair.
That
I'll
guy
say
can't
with
be rich. Look at how he's
like-
holding his clothes.
with a
I
nat
came in-
20.
I don't know how I would have gotten in like through the cargo with my own luggage.
Dang. Do you mean it's just sitting there
Well,
on the...
No,
It's
because if you're
abandoned
if
on
you're
the
coming on
shore?
as a worker, you would still have a bag of some kind. You wouldn't have. I don't think they would let you on with like vacation
Okay, I've got like a rucksack, like a
Yeah.
hip bag or something.
And I'll also
Okay.
say that with the nat 20 in the
And it is
locker you
bulging
found.
now.
Yeah. Well, with the lock, if you want it
with
in
like
the
a
locker,
new
you
set of clothes in there.
yes. But with that, yeah, sure. The rucksack is bulging. Never mind. You then instead the server says, okay, do you want any of the shrimps, or can I keep passing them out? And she's holding out like a tray of like, I don't know, blanched shrimp, like shrimp cocktail, single shrimp cocktail with a shot glass, you know?
Samson starts snapping. Garcon, the shrimps! I need to fuel up before this game.
Oh well, it sounds like you I better get to that. Yes.
And gladly. And she walks away from your badminton conversation and with her shrimps, and gives them to Samson Bill.
Samson houses like
fucking
4 or
exactly
5 of them,
houses just like
immediately.
Carl, while this is an intense job site, you're shocked to find yourself with time to enjoy the ship, which you are allowed to do as sort of captain of the squad.
Well, then I would tell the crew, notify me if anything occurs, and I'm going to stretch my legs and I'm going to walk about. just
Okay.
like you have done and walked about.
Yeah. You're walking about.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
And I, if it's convenient to the story, I could be happen to walk through the athletics area if that's the convergence point we're driving towards.
Yeah, I mean you're moving about the ship. I think as you do, it doesn't stop the fact that just because you aren't down in the engine room now, right? Like even if Carl is giving himself a moment to be a little bit more at ease, I think that it does register with him that he is still working. He does like this job is wider than the engine room, and so I can get out for a stroll, but I might as well be checking out things along the way.
Oh yeah, he would always be looking at, are the bulkheads good? What about the lighting and the wiring? Anything he
Gotta
can
check
see,
out the
he
fountain.
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is there a fountain?
Is it
I've never been on
flowing
a
at the right
boat with a
PSI?
fountain. Exactly. Yeah, you know what? We'll even say that there's a few like notes you've received in this first few hours of things that you should be checking up on regularly, right? But you move about the ship. I'd like to give you to give me I think it could be survival because this is like your kind of realm of that, or investigation if you have a
Excellent
proficiency in one or the other.
I am proficient in survival.
That's the one stat.
That's it. Yeah. So that is a 13.
Okay.
Apparently that's his comfort number is 13.
13. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's a good number for Carl Knuckles. Carl's moving about the ship. While you're checking on all your little check boxes, the next one you've checked off a few, making sure that the cargo hold is properly secured, that any of the larger transport objects for the people that will get off in Puerto Rico or come on in Bermuda, that things are organized properly. You've moved down your list a little bit. The next piece is to go check on the fountain and make sure that that's not like taking too much power or like moving too much water away from the boilers where they should be moving in. I imagine there's an intake system under the boat that as the water is being boiled off, there's like new water being influxed. That's probably not the actual system, but I'm going to say that it's this boat's system, right?
It works.
So you got to make sure, right?
Yeah.
But in this, what you do notice is down in the cargo, which is towards the back of the boat. You're secure in the fact that this is a bay liner, not an ocean liner. This is not built like an ocean liner. While it is more secure, you get that thought while you're down here. This is a bay liner, and there is a moment in between Puerto Rico and Bermuda that you've done your research enough as like a secure, job site where things could get a little bit rocky. I think you convince yourself in this moment that that's what all this extra security is for. That's what the extra like secure bulkheads and shit are for. But in the end, this boat is not meant for deep water, that like ocean depth water. It's just meant for bay depth. And there will be a few spots in which you will be crossing over ocean depth.
I will make a note to have the crew double strap down cargo.
Yeah. And then you move on and you're checking out the fountain and you hear some hubbub over by the badminton courts. You see a few wealthier to-dos shaping up for what seems like going to be a rather intense. There's a little crowd beginning to sort of gather around of this badminton court.
He will take a pause and stay far enough back so he doesn't have to interact with them. And he'll break out his Zippo lighter and a cigarette and light up a smoke and just lean against the wall and take a break and watch the festivities.
As you're smoking the cigarette, you hear shrimp, and you look over and you see a young waitress with the platter up and some blanched shrimp cocktail on it.
Oh, I'll take a shrimp cocktail, certainly.
Yeah. Yummy. Right down the middle. Right down the middle. It's decent food. And on the badminton court, we have sectioned ourselves off onto two sides: Beryl and Sampson versus Veronica and Chester. What position?
And of course, Chester, whoever wins this match, I expect at least a sawbuck from this, right? Let's make this interesting.
What's a sawbuck?
That's a $10 bill.
And I knew that. $10
We could make this
bills.
We could make it a double sawbuck if you want to
Who
keep
carries-
things interesting.
Who carries $10 bills on them? What are other names for money I could use to embarrass you right now?
A C is a $100 bill.
All I carry is C's on me.
You could say that we
Well-
sail across the 7 seas.
Well,
You want to bet
ABC
7
as what I
C's
say.
on this, Cortland? I have $700 on me right now, easily.
Daddy says I shouldn't gamble. I'm 17. This
Oh,
doesn't
Veronica,
seem-
she's afraid. Don't
Trust
worry.
me, sister.
We'll find
This isn't a
someone else
gamble.
to
This is
play
a
with.
sure thing.
I don't. Well, I mean, I guess.
I guess.
Sure. Honestly, Beryl's just happy to be included. This is her. I mean, it's weird that a bunch of adults are challenging her in this way. She's never really.
I'll say Chester's like not too much older than you. He's a couple years
Oh,
older than you.
okay.
I'll
Okay, that
even
makes
say
sense.
that like when you introduced yourself, the conversation got cut short by Samson coming in, which I loved. I love that. But I think that you even recognize as Samson or as Chester was about to that like when you were kids, your families may have had like wealthy parties
Okay.
together, right? Like you have crossed
Got it,
paths
got it.
in your past.
Samson's about 40.
He's
Okay.
a snake. Don't listen to him. You hear a little bit more intensity now from Chester. Awesome.
The athletes have made a bet. The odds are 4-1. 4-1 in favor of the pair on the left.
Ooh, okay. Are you trying to bring in like a crowd to place
I'm
bets
kinda
with
like,
you?
yeah. I think that's
Okay.
the move here. Is we're gonna. This is a good way to get interaction and sort of get some reads on people too.
Yeah.
Is there persuasion performance? What do you?
It can be any of the yeah, persuasion or performance if either one is better for you.
And they're all charisma. Let's go performance, and that's an 11.
Okay. The crowd does start pouring in. I think the problem you face in this moment is actually that everyone is coming to bet on this match. There are so
no.
many people coming to bet with you. 4-1, you said, on who?
I'm sorry, sir. I don't have exact change.
You're getting shouted at. I want to see on Veronica to take the first point.
I'm writing scripts right and left.
Fuck yeah. I want a double tenfold on Beryl. Beryl's going to take the first point. And just like everyone is shouting at you.
I've torn up a sheet of journal paper into little scripts, and I'm writing off.
Fantastic. We're going to resolve that in a little bit. I listened to this.
I'm screwed.
Like a TikTok passed my like scroll recently, and it was a DM was like, I hate it when someone has a low perception check and you just don't, and you say like, well, you don't see anything, because they obviously do see something, and it is a really long video, and I was like not really paying attention, but I just left it on, and the detail he gave, I was like, that's actually kind of fun. So in like not all the moments, I still think there are moments where no, you don't see anything. You see trees and shit, but you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Anyway. In this moment, I liked that was fun. So now you have a different problem you're facing, is that so many people are interested in your bets that you're having difficulty handling it.
The just to continue off that thought
Yeah,
for just a
yeah,
brief second. The thing that I run into is that what I really want to do is give you guys confidently incorrect information.
Yes.
But that's really it's really hard to convincingly do that. And
Yeah.
not just like in the outline of it point out where the thing is.
It is very difficult. That exact, I think, example was like, there are bandits out in the woods, so you make a perception check and like roll a 3 or whatever. Like that doesn't mean you don't perceive anything, but what you could perceive instead is a set of glowing eyes that makes you shoot thinking it's the bandits, right? And then now the bandits can attack you from behind because your focus is this way. You perceive something that like is owl's eyes rather than bandit's eyes, and you like have to act on that. But I agree though, like just because there's one example of like how that is working, doesn't mean that it is easy in every moment to be like, oh yeah, here's the obvious answer that you know and see.
Oh no, I've shot the owl.
Yeah. In this case, it's, oh no, everyone is putting bets, and money is being thrust into your hands, and
Like
and,
actual, like real deal money.
real deal money. They think
Oh,
that you're
damn.
a better. Yeah, they think that you're holding bets, and so people are trusting you to put out what you a 4-to-1 odds on who. Before we begin the match, who is more likely to win in your 4-to-1 odds shout?
Knowing literally only the relative ages of the participants.
We have Chester, who's a couple years older than young Beryl, and then 40-year-old Samson. And Veronica, she's a bit in the ether right now. She could be a fucking old woman. Who knows?
We don't know. I'm assuming Veronica is a similar age to Chester, but I could be wholly off base. And like, Samson came in with such confident energy.
He did.
You sort of want to go on vibes there, but he's 40. It's
How does
not-
he
well-
move for
Well,
a
you
40-year-old?
know what? Actually, badminton is not like if you know how to if you know how to play. I don't know that badminton is the most physically taxing of games. 4-to-1 in favor of Samson and Beryl.
Heck yeah.
Bet on the team. I like it.
Hey,
I
I
think
better
so.
be getting
I
some of
think
that
so.
sugar here at the end. Betting man.
I don't know you from Adam.
I don't know you from Adam. All right. We
I
get
won't
into
play
a
this game unless I get a cut.
I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know
I
how
don't
to
want
play
to talk to you because you might recognize me from earlier.
badminton.
Then you better give me a cut.
I don't know how to play badminton, so I'm gonna run off of whatever I think it is. There's got to be a front and a back. That's what it is in
It's a
tennis.
4-court.
Yeah.
It's a 4-court and a
Tennis.
backcourt.
Okay. Cool. Okay. That was my thought. Which one of you is forecourt and which one of you is backcourt?
Oh,
I'm gonna ask
Samson's right in front. Samson's he's doing like the 2 fingers to the eyes, 2 fingers to your eyes, Chester. He's like up against the net.
That's fine because Beryl has a killer cross court flick. I mean, it's just, it's pretty killer.
It's the cross-court flick that inspired Chester to come over in the first place. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. You guys are doing your thing. You're doing the eye thing to Chester, but he is not giving you the time of day. He's obviously cold shouldering you. He sets up in the back as their anchor, and Veronica jumps up front. She is giving you it back. She's up in your face. And we begin badminton, I guess. Why don't we do some athletic rolls? And if anyone on the outside wants to, as a player, attempt to help the situation, if there's anything you can have your character do, like a distraction or whatnot, if that is something, we can talk about that as well. But for now, I want athletic rolls from the two of you.
So Samson is really quick. He's gonna do a couple of leg stretches. He's gonna walk back to Beryl really quick, and he's gonna say, "Hey, just so you know, if this goes south, I am going to be hurting my ankle. Just to be 100% with you, just to let you know. It looks better to fail than to lose, but we're not gonna lose. Don't worry."
Okay.
No.
Engendering vastly different levels of confidence.
And then I'm ready with my athletic check. I've got it right here.
I've got mine as well. Oh boy.
Okay. Did
How
we
does
need
that
to do
affect-
something too?
How does that affect Barrel's game?
I mean, Beryl rolled a 19. She's feeling confident. She's gonna. She's decided she's played chess. Maybe she's played Chester when they were kids. So she
Ooh,
kind of
badminton
knows.
club.
So they were in opposing badminton clubs.
Mhm.
And so she kind of knows some of his tricks. So if she feels like maybe she can help this guy, and if his knee fails, that's not really on her. It's just because he's an old man. She can just blame it on that. It's not my fault that my old man partner's knee gave out. And honestly, $700 is not that big deal to Beryl. She has no concept of money, really. She always just has so much of it.
We're only playing for a sawbuck, just to be clear.
I disagree. We're playing for $700.
That's what I
Okay.
heard before.
Whatever you say,
Hey,
Chester.
guys.
I mean, that is how much you owe me for that business deal that you ruined. But you know, I can give half to this nice lady. That's
I
okay
will
with me.
never pay you for that. That is absolutely on your shoulders, Bill.
You're about to. Hey, listen to me. You're about to.
Cool. What's your athletics checks?
Mine is also a 19.
Oh my god.
Hell
Okay. Time to bring out the dice. I keep a dice. I've sectioned off a dice in a little pill bottle as like an important roll dice.
These are special dice. They've got pill dust on them.
Do you have a single dice in isolation?
I do. And
I bet that dice is going to be very angry with you.
in my other table, whenever like last session I was using this dice and it was rolling really poorly and it was giving them a lot of like bonuses and like succeeding on, they were succeeding on everything, and someone said you should put that dice in dice jail. I was like, why would you tell me that? You're winning, but I will for you.
So, you said so, yeah.
So I took
Yeah.
out a different dice, and instead of rolling 3s and 4s, I was rolling like 19, I was rolling 20, I was rolling like 14, 15, and everyone was so sad after that.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
40k players are very
You just
judicious
had
with
to
dice
say
jail.
something.
We immediately put dice away.
Specialty dice, important dice, has rolled out some interesting results. I would like, let's say, Barrel. Give me a high, say high or low.
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 At some point here, I have to do something.
100%. 100%. This game is kicking off. It's going hard. The back and forth is pretty steady. After even the first few like bats back and forth, we're realizing what's happening here, that Beryl and Samson are working good together. They're working well together. Samson is clearly not as refined in his tactics, even with the 19s. He just doesn't have the same experience that Beryl has, who is, while not a paid professional, up to that level in how much she has played badminton. And that I'll say that I did say clubs, but since you have a badminton racket with you, you can actually just say that your proficiency is with badminton rackets if you want to use that as a weapon or whatever. Totally fine. We can figure out how to make that happen, because that's just, it's so cool and it really fits. Clubs doesn't make sense. Badminton rackets, that makes sense. But this is happening. It's going back and forth. Let me think about this. What is the worst outcome for Dibney in this moment? Like who winning would be the worst?
I need my team to win.
You need your team to win. Okay,
okay. Right? Isn't that right?
I think so. I just wanted to double check. I think that was.
I think I
what
need
the
the
bet was.
ones with the most.
Yes, you'll have to pay out a lot more money if the other team wins.
Yes, and then yeah. At this point, 4 to
4
1
times
odds,
as much.
you will probably keep a bit of this money after paying out those who won.
Yes, because basically I'm screwed either way. I don't have any money to give them.
No, because there are, I'll say.
Well, no, they've given me their money. I've given
Yeah.
the losers
Yes.
money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
no,
yes,
this
yes,
is how
yes,
it
yes.
works. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You just have a lot to keep up with. So after this,
okay.
we're going to have some checks to see if you can actually dole the money back out to the right
Here's-
people.
Here's the other thing: is that all of Samson's behavior just before the match has tanked Dibney's confidence in
Yeah.
the team. This,
him,
you
him
know, and
whispering to Beryl.
I made this choice, and also just getting right up on the net. Like that doesn't seem like the right spot to be.
But as it turns out, it is.
They're
As it turns out,
playing.
it is. But Dibney didn't know it yet, and he made a choice.
What does Dibney want to do? You do see, I'll say, that Veronica, also up in the front of the net, is showing some wild play. Something, while Samson is engendering false confidence in you, or bad confidence, Veronica is starting to make you also feel a little nervous. Not
Perfect.
Chester. Chester's slipping up. That was your good call, Beryl. Or Grace.
I gotta take out their hidden weapon. Okay. I surreptitiously, this is all done. I think it's gonna be stealth checks. I'm really praying. Hi audience. I'm rolling my stats as I go, and I've rolled 3 13s and a 12. I need a high score for my dex. So, if you're listening out there, just, cross your fingers for old Dibney here. I'm trying to be the rogue, I think.
Awesome.
The plan is, I imagine when I picture in my mind that the waiter with the shrimp has a mirrored tray.
Love that.
Yeah. So Dibney is going to go over surreptitiously to the waiter and say, "Excuse me, I need to perform an act of desperate debauchery." And just take, as he's saying this, just lift the tray politely out of the waiter's hand and
Give me
and eat all the shrimps off of it.
Oh boy. Give me a
Tails and all?
Ooh, no, you know what? Give me a charisma saving throw is what I'll call it. Not a check. You are saving yourself from utter social ruin.
What's my charisma? 12.
12.
I think given the way that Dibney has acted, we're gonna make charisma his saving throw proficiency.
Okay. Oh, this is your
makes
first
sense
saving
for
throw. I love that
This
you
makes
do
sense for
this.
his character. Because it seems like the only way he's acted is a way that it's gonna get him into trouble.
I mean, also as a journalist, when are you using Constitution or Strength or Dexterity to get out of a situation?
Yeah, no, it's charisma
unless you're
saves.
a wartime
Charisma saves,
journalist, very
baby.
different situation.
That's actually a really interesting point and a cool way to get characters to have intellect save proficiencies is to start them in our world. Much more likely to have those.
Yeah, right. I was also thinking about that while building this. No one is probably going to be unless they're a hardcore worker like Carl, a beefy human, right? They're typically going to be slight because the general man is working in office jobs actually no, wrong. Add the 1920s, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Wide
the 1920s
frame is
were
huge.
built different.
This is factories. This is hard labor.
Yeah,
100%.
no, we're blue collar folk.
Okay, yeah.
Not for me, but the general public. Yes.
Yeah, everyone else.
The table. The
picture for you is the more you've talked, the more I've realized that I'm really glad you picked that picture. It's so good. The smile is giving the voice you're giving, and that's awesome. Okay. Wait, what was your charisma save? With we'll say proficiency bonus. You are good at this. Remember that when you tell me your low number. How low is it?
Are we single digits?
Is it the lowest one?
No.
Okay.
And maybe this represents how many shrimp are actually on this.
Oh no.
I rolled the second lowest number.
Yeah.
So I have a total of a 3.
Okay. Yeah. then what happens is as you go to wrestle it from her hands, as you go to grab it from her hands, you did say that, gently grab it from her hands.
Yep, just lift it out.
Her second hand reaches up to grab the tray. No, you're not going to do that. She is giving you in body language. But your second hand, you just pull. Her first hand was going in only to stop, not to actually restrain. So when you pull, the shrimp go up and all over you. You do catch one, and you like in a moment of panic as you catch it and you're looking around with the thing in your hand, you eat the shrimp and you nod. And
delicious.
you have the tray, and the waitress is aghast, and many of the other folks are aghast that they have given you cash to bet with, and they're looking at you very nervously.
What a crazy random happenstance.
But in this, while not your intent, the clang of the platter as you like, I think what happens is you do drop it, it causes a little clang. That clang causes Chester to miss his first hit. He is startled, and the Samson and Beryl score their first point off of a Beryl's knockback. That is Beryl's first point. So if anyone has a bet on, give me a, let's see, Gabe. Pick a number 1 through 4.
3.
3? Where's my
3.
dice? 3.
Take 3d6 damage.
You take 3d6 damage. No.
I die instantly.
I die instantly.
Turns out he is allergic to shrimp.
Oh my god. Okay.
He never knew because he was too poor to eat one, but he's
Fuck,
actually
that was
definitely
funny.
allergic
Oh
to
my god.
shellfish.
Oh fuck, roll up a new character. That joke has to nail it into stone. No. That's so funny. Oh my god.
If at any point I roll a critical failure, I just die.
You just die. You're allergic to that too. No, what happens, I think on that, what we see is that there is a low amount of people. Because of how much bravado Samson came into this with, there was only 2 people of the crowd, I don't know how big that is, a lot, that voted or like bet the excess that Beryl would get the first point. This is a based on Gabe thing, not on Beryl's confidences, just to be clear. But that means that you'll have to pay those 2 people 8 times whatever if they win, because they got the like super key like bet point.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You still
Kermit.
have that money. You are confident that if Samson and Beryl win, that is a payoutable and you'll still make money. In fact, that's the best outcome for you because that's the least amount of people you'd have to pay at 8 times.
Do I still have the tray?
Yes, you have the tray.
Yes.
But the distraction worked for this first round. I would like to see what Carl, as this is going back and forth. Beryl has just crushed this first point into the ground. Samson, I imagine, is fucking parading around the room with his hands.
Samson is trying to get a chest bump from Beryl. Samson's like, yeah, come on, jump up. Yeah. Yeah, come on.
Beryl just places like taps his chest with her racket because she's dignified.
Hey, you know what? We'll take it. That was a real hotsy-totsy shot. Good job.
You and these references. I imagine that Carl entirely sees through Debney.
Yeah, Carl's not buying it. But Carl's also interested enough to see how it plays out that he's probably going to call over one of the other waiters and have that waiter help clean up the fallen shrimp as the priority, because we've got a safety hazard because shrimp are slippery.
That's funny as fuck too. Did you place a bet, Carl? I'm not asking if you have any money. No one has starting money. I don't want to put that in there.
I was too busy watching all of it, and I I try not to get directly involved with these hoity-toity types.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Too big for your pockets.
That's correct.
You know it's good. You're the one person I don't want to owe money to.
You are
This is a
ushered
wise
sort of out
decision.
of the vicinity, Dibney, just of the nearby waitress as they begin to pick up the shrimps, because Carl's made a good point that you cannot be slipping on this shrimp. They care very much about your safety and don't want you to be hurt. So they usher you slightly away from where the shrimp are. Give me a stealth check, and I only think I'm imposing this because Carl has called over another server to like help pick up the situation, to hide the tray as you dip.
Don't slip on those shrimp. I'm gonna slip away. Oh no.
He says that out loud.
I, you know, I do because that's a 6.
What's
no.
what's your dexterity bonus? Or what's your the dexterity, like the number, ability score?
12, right?
We
No.
have to do another roll off then.
No, I haven't rolled my dexterity.
Oh, give me the dexterity.
This is
If it's a 12, we'll have to do a roll off. If it's above a 12, you win, because that's how that would come down to. And if it's below, you lose.
comedy gods.
Come on, comedy gods.
Oh, comedy gods.
Our rogue's gonna have like a 7.
He actually slipped on shrimp as he said it.
Slipped on shrimp and he's allergic. Oh my god. That sucks.
Not Dibney's Day is the name of this episode.
Oh my god. So
Okay.
stupid. Oh my god.
My dex now is so far my lowest skill.
Fuck yeah. What is it? What is
Oh
that?
no.
It's an 11.
No.
So
Well,
we're just all the same.
I
What's
think-
my roll?
I've got 2 sevens.
And that's a critical failure.
you slip
Oh
on a
my
shrimp.
God.
You slip on a shrimp and fall, and there's a clang because you fall on top of the tray. And the servers help you up, and they, while they normally would be
I
checking if
slip
you're
again.
okay, you slip again, and they're like,
What a
you look,
scene.
you have to get out of here. They like really push you away from the shrimp and the tray, and I think with that you lose the tray. You got the distraction in that. I think, and even in this moment, the two of you playing the game has stopped for a moment. The second serve hasn't begun because this man is falling in shrimp and like embarrassing himself.
That man really is in the giggle water this time, huh?
Giggle water.
I'm so
Yeah, I don't
sorry.
think they should have handed him all that jack if he's just gonna fall on the floor like this.
Mm-hmm. What an
I'm
egg.
so sorry. My shoes are allergic to shrimp.
My
Grace, do you have
shoes
the
are
same
allergic.
PDF pulled up that I do? I've got a 1920s slang PDF.
You know it.
Hell yeah, dude. I was like, oh, hey, I've seen those as my perusal.
Dang it. I literally went to research that and then had to do some DM stuff, so I'm definitely here for it. Where's that? 1920s slang. Perfect. I would like
I got you.
that
I'll send
as
you the
well.
link.
Oh, don't worry. There's a billion websites, and we'll have different references. It'll be perfect. I have it right here. We're good to go. The real McCoy. Phonus Balonus. That's fantastic.
Phonus balloonus. If only I knew what it meant.
Oh, this is good. 21 pages. Never mind. Whatever I found was wrong. Dizzy with a dame. Anyway, I could read that for days. Yeah, the game has stopped for a moment. This man is ushered away from the shrimp and the tray and this whole situation. Carl is helping set up like a perimeter to make sure the area gets clean because the shrimp has been spread and smushed into the ground.
Oh.
This is a nasty situation over there. Carl, what do you focus on this like shrimp situation, or do you have a different focus before
I
move
would
on?
be
'Cause
concerned on
it's
the
important.
shrimp situation because we're talking about a safety hazard on the boat. And,
I love that.
you know, where we got to get that resolved. I'm keeping an eye on this gentleman, but my
Okay.
bigger concern right now is to make sure everything is clean and the guests are safe before I turn my attention anywhere else.
What's your wisdom score? I'm just curious.
12.
Okay. So that makes your passive perception 10, literally.
Yes.
8 plus proficiency plus 1. Cool.
Mhm.
Okay. Good to know. You're keeping an eye on our Dibney. Back to the
Yes.
game, though. After a few moments, the crowd is like getting a little antsy, and they're ready for you to continue. And the shrimp man has left that area.
The
Everyone's
shrimp
gonna
man
know.
goeth.
His disguise is gonna be gone because everyone's gonna be talking about the shrimp man for the rest
So
of the voyage.
fucking funny. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I gotta get away and take off my mustache.
Chester,
Yeah, because it's covered in shrimp. You obviously have to take it off.
You reek of shrimp.
Chester, your
Yeah.
shrimp man distraction will not work. I'm going to be taking
Super
7
kids
yards
with
from you at
Kevin
the end
in
of this
shower.
game.
My shrimp man distraction. You scored the first point. Don't blame that on me. I would blame that on you. You little snake.
You can't
Samson.
blame that on me. I'm already blaming it on you.
We'll see. And then he serves, and I need athletics checks from both of you. I don't know how many points there are. There's like 21 points in the bat. We're not going to make that many checks. Don't worry.
I got a natural 20.
Wow.
Let's see, what am I
My stats
doing?
might be bad, but my luck is good.
And
That makes
that's,
sense for Samson.
That's
Uh-huh.
16 for Beryl. The shrimp threw off a little bit. She's only 17. A man falling in shrimp is very
She's
funny.
only 17. How could
The
you
shrimp-
fall in shrimp
shrimp has
around her,
motivated me.
you absolute caveman? She is a young woman. You fell in shrimp? Like I said, that was
She-
the embarrassing check, and you did embarrass yourself.
She's baffled.
She has
She's
to know
never
about
seen
the real
something.
world one day.
You're gonna get pinched talking like that.
You're gonna get pinched
Enough of
talking
this
like
bunk.
that.
Let's play.
All right,
Cool.
let's put the screws on him.
Stop. All right, are you ready to deal out that dough, Gabe? Anyway, the next set,
No.
the next set of plays as the shrimp man goes off to clean himself. Carl cleans up the shrimp mess. Beryl and Samson continue their game. You guys are not much off put by the shrimp distraction in the beginning of this game, and you continue your drive. Though Chester, seemingly empowered or emboldened or whatever by the distraction he feels you caused, Samson. Only you. He doesn't think that Beryl did it, and he makes that clear. It's only you he thinks did it for some reason, and it has made him play a bit better. And as we near the end of the game, you guys are only ahead by 2 points or whatever. Which is close, I guess, for a badminton game. But Beryl probably doesn't feel the pressure because she's crushed ass in enough badminton games to feel safe at a 2-point lead or whatever. I don't know how this game works. So, as we get into this final, as they are batting this back and forth, actually, I would ask either of you, what are your play styles of badminton like? I'd like some information from you. I don't just want...
I'm spiking every opportunity I get. I'm spiking it.
Veronica was
I'm
prepared
that-
for that after the first
I'm
fucking
that
hit.
close to the net for the reason, and I am too stubborn to go further back from the net. She may have my number, but I'm going to spike it. I rolled
You
a
spike
natural
it.
20. She is not going to succeed.
No, I mean, yeah, 100%. 100%. What's Beryl's play style like?
Beryl is just like all elegant grace, and you can tell that she's just been playing for years. For someone so young, she still has that youthful vitality where she just makes it look so easy, and she just looks so serene. She doesn't look like over strenuous. She's just, that teenage glow, just
Yeah.
really having a good time.
It's the
It's like all
the beautiful hyper technical play from the backfield versus the absolute aggro menace that is Samson.
Spike Master. While they are aggressively while not seemingly aggressive from Beryl, but she's in this game. And when Beryl's in this game, while she doesn't look it, she is.
Oh, Beryl's in it.
Yeah, she's making tactical hits that are
Beryl's
mean
locked
in the
in.
moment.
She
Looking at
knows
like
her
making them
onions.
like ankle
She knows
breakers
her
and dumb
onions
shit.
about Batman. All right, she knows her
Yeah.
onions.
And honestly, I'll even say the audience is really into Beryl. Like the spiking, the repeated, no other tactic spiking, everyone's like kind of funnily into. They love it. They're like getting wild, but you can see Beryl has some like fans beginning to develop. Like people are really into this play style. Shrimp Man, what do you do?
Man.
You have embarrassed yourself in front of a crowd of people that you owe now possibly a lot of money to. We'll see.
Okay.
You owe some money to.
Okay. Do they let me out of their sight? Do I just get to leave?
Give me a stealth check to just sneak your way out of the room. A lot of
The dice
people
have
have
not
given
been
you their
kind to
money.
me.
They have not
You
been
do
kind.
you do reek of shrimp. I don't know how sneaky you're gonna be.
You know what? You're right,
Well,
Grace. With
here's the thing, though.
disadvantage.
Here's the thing. I reek of shrimp. Will anyone want to come with me?
True.
They may not,
I've
but
been
they have given you a
changed.
lot
Like,
of
they're,
money.
like-
They are.
But they have a lot of money.
I mean, that's true.
They're not
but
poors. They're not.
That's
they
the
don't
thing.
care.
That's the thing about people with a lot of money. They're very attached to their money.
they
Yes,
only
they
want to
are.
make more money. Yeah. And this is a way for them to make a little bit of money on this cruise. How cool would it be to
I
come
think-
back and say I went on vacation and made $700?
But only once I owe them the money.
Yes. Yes. I just
You're
don't
sounding
know
like
that
Samson right now.
I'm trying to get out of this disadvantage.
I don't disadvantage only because you smell like shrimp. You're covered in it, and you embarrassed yourself so much the crowd was watching. It's not
we-
necessarily
we
the
stopped
money
the
owing
game.
thing, I guess. My
All right.
point, you're right, can be mooted.
I reek of
but
shrimp.
what you did is the problem, not what I'm doing.
Okay. That's a 5.
Oh,
Um,
what a bad gumshoe.
you.
I'm not a gumshoe.
I'm half a gumshoe. A gumshoe would have gotten a 10 easily.
I'm a journalist.
Mm.
I don't say out loud.
Yeah, people feel like you're a
Someone-
bookie. Yeah, sure,
As
man.
you.
I'm
What
a
I'll give-
professional.
I'm a professional. What I'll give you as you go to leave is a few people do kind of harass you a little bit, like, "Hey, where you? You can't just leave with our money."
I'll be right back. I reek of shrimp. I can't stand the shame. The terrible shame.
You know what?
Oh no.
Give me a charisma saving throw, but with advantage because they also wouldn't be able to take the shame.
I am willing to drop to my knees and tear my clothes for this.
No more shrimp, please.
No. The stench.
The other thing that rich people hate, secondhand shame.
Secondhand
That's a
shrimp.
natural 20.
No way. Awesome.
He's weeping. Real tears.
They cover their noses and they say, "Oh, you're right, you reek." And then they, "Please, just return with our money. Change yourself." And they leave you, and you're able to
I'm
exit the room. I'm allergic. You're able to leave the room without anyone haranguing you.
Oh.
Clean yourself up. Change into your.
First things first, I immediately strip the mustache off. Mustache goes into a trash can. Now I'm a new person who still smells like shrimp.
And it's
Don't let him
covered in
have
it.
another mustache. The mustache is in the trash can. He has to get it out of the trash can if he wants to be mustache.
You get the old shrimp mustache if you want one.
I'm not thinking about that. I smell like shrimp.
And the worst offender was the mustache for sure.
I now hate the smell of shrimp.
New
Um,
character flaw.
Okay. I am putting all of the money into my satchel and going off in search of an unlocked door.
Damn.
Okay. I think nearby there's enough unlocked doors. Give me a luck check to decide what kind of
Oh,
room
actually,
this is.
the first thing I'm doing, I'm gonna change into my engineer's clothes.
Okay.
They don't come with pants.
Do you put the rest of your suit into that trash can too with the mustache?
How much shrimp is on it? Is it a lot?
How
It's
shrimpy is it?
It smears and flecks of shrimp because you fell in it. After you take off
I
your
like-
suit coat,
I like-
there's like pieces
I like
of shrimp.
Flap
on
it out.
Oh no!
Flap it out.
As you
Oh my
do,
God.
there's
Does it
like
help?
flecks of shrimp. Yes, it helps with the look.
Flecks of shrimp.
The smell is unavoidable. The flapping it out will never help you with the smell. There is not a nat 20 in the world that can save that coat. But
This is this is a problem.
this was my father's coat.
This is my only suit. I've only
Oh man.
I've only got my long johns. And now this engineer's coat.
At least you have an outfit.
Okay, so can I get a perception check? I'm gonna look for a spot to hide my clothes.
Okay.
They smell like shrimp, but maybe I can come back for them later because I can't bring the smell of shrimp with me.
Yeah. No. You got to be undercover.
Oh, that's a 5.
Dang.
The kitchen has the smell of shrimps, and you find your way there because it's a nearby door. There are people working in here, but you're an engineer's clothes, so no one really worries about you. And you're panicking because this has been awful, and you've not gotten a break from how terrible the social anxiety has to be. And you pull open the first drawer that you find. It has some shrimp in it, and you get excited.
I have a really bad. Ooh.
Oh, please.
Wait, drawer with shrimp.
Drawer with shrimp. I was gonna say you just stuff it into the drawer with shrimp and close it. But if you have a
Ew.
different
Yeah, no, if
idea,
you're gonna. Well, I was gonna do a worse thing.
Please?
But, if there's a drawer, nope, there's a drawer with shrimp now.
you find the drawer with shrimp and you just put your
I was gonna
suit
put it.
in
I was gonna put it in the first big pot that I
Oh
saw.
God.
That's foul.
But I won't. You've given me a drawer of shrimp. And
You
so
have a
now I
drawer
don't
of
have to
shrimp.
resort
Yeah,
to
yeah.
those sorts of measures.
I don't have to poison the whole ship. What you're doing.
Dimny's a menace.
And
I
now
think we have discovered.
he might be an
um,
international criminal after you poison a
this
ship
is
of,
delicious.
ship
Is
of
this-
people.
Yeah, no,
Suit?
okay.
Shoot.
Tastes of cashmere.
And shrimp.
And while
camphor.
Dibney is figuring out his fucking suit in this kitchen, there's a few people moving around him. We're moving into the end phase of this badminton game. Like I said, you guys are a few points ahead. You're 2 points away from victory, but 2 points only ahead of your enemies. They've come back, but Beryl, you feel confident, and Samson with your spikes, while Veronica is extremely frustrated with this tactic in the front row. She has accommodated and learned how to get it back a little bit. With that nat 20, you still have some tricks and shit up your sleeve, but she recognizes your spike tactic a little bit more. And we're going to move into this last phase if I can get some athletics checks for the last phase of this combat. I'm going to say you guys need to roll high. They got some
Toots,
wicked high
you are-
rolls.
You are not the first woman to be absolutely frustrated with me, and you will not be the last. I got a 19.
I don't need that from you, she says as she spikes it back in your fucking face.
And I spike it right back.
Yeah, you do. It's just two people overhand spiking it at each other, and somehow each time they're able to spike it
rage.
back. Exactly. From below, they're spiking it down and then up. Sorry, what were your athletics checks?
19.
Mine was a 16. Or are these new ones that
No,
we
no.
just rolled?
New one.
Oh, new. Okay. roll
Yes.
again. That is a 15. Dang, one less.
Okay. The end of this phase is a little rough. They recover those points on you and actually get a point up on you. They are 1 point away, and you guys have not scored, still 2 points away. It is drawn to a tie as Beryl is able to save one final hit. It was actually about to go out. And because of that, they began relaxing, and Beryl made a split-second decision to dive for it anyway and knocked it just right over the net, scoring you that final point, now being tied up. Samson has laid back a little bit on his spiking in this last little bit, but as this final bit comes in...
I haven't spiked this much in one day in a long time.
Veronica lets down her guard as you're saying that, but you come back in with a wild overhand, just pile driver downwards. That gets right past her guard, winning the two of you the game.
Turns out I had one more in me.
I'll say based on our scores, Beryl did score the most points, but Samson scored the last point. Securing the victory against Chester and Veronica as Dibney, I imagine, walks back into the room. Is this where we're at with Dibney? And Carl is has just helped finish cleaning up the shrimp.
He's in the restroom.
The crowd is, that's fine. The crowd is going absolutely buck wild. People are beginning to look around for where their money is, as I imagine Samson and Beryl are as well. Chester says,
Samson's walking right up to Chester.
$700, I believe that makes us even, Chester says, looking down on you.
Do we each get $700? That means I also get $7, right?
Fuck. They dole out.
No. I think it makes more sense. We don't want to rake him over the coals. You know, the barge is just the voyage has just begun. There will be plenty of opportunities. Here, have 4.
Have 4 what?
Not you.
Oh, are you giving her?
You're giving me 400 clams.
Yes, indeed.
This is a cat's pajamas.
But
I'm
gonna need you to come with me to hear some pitches later. I've got a few business opportunities you and your family might be interested in.
I'm not gonna do that.
Then I'll only give you 3. Here you are.
Okay.
I think that's fair, and I bid you adieu.
As you guys are exchanging that money, is Dibney come back into the room to see the end of this? No. Where does Dibney go? Oh, fuck. Where does Dibney go?
Oh, Dibney! I'm stressed for Dibney.
Dibney, you are carrying a pot of...
Yeah, how much money do I have, actually?
$3,900.
Damn, Dibney.
People have thrown down bets. With the victory, you don't know this yet, but with the victory and the way that all the points were doled out and etc., you have to pay out 3,000 of this.
Okay. I've stored my clothes, my shirt and coat in the back of the drawer behind the shrimp. All the shrimp are pulled forward to the front of the drawer. Get that shut. Quietly leave.
On the 3rd day, someone's going to reach in for some shrimp and pull out a suit coat, and everything's going to be ruined.
We'll get to that when we get to that. Maybe I can come back and get it out. Do I still smell like shrimp?
Vaguely. I think I'll give you a -1 to like stealth because there's a scent on you, right? You got to shower it off, but like vague scent. People would catch the whiff of shrimp.
With almost 4 large on me, perhaps it's time to pursue my actual goals aboard this boat. And I put on my engineer's coat. And I head to the crew's quarters. I assume there's probably a shower there.
As you leave the kitchen
and start my investigation, and now I've made almost $4,000.
As you leave the kitchen, and there is money being exchanged between Samson and Beryl, and the crowd is beginning to get agitated that the bookie has abandoned them, including the few who agreed that the bookie could abandon them. They're like looking around more intently for you. Okay, I've made some checks on if they'll still recognize your upper half of your face. It's like hiding behind glasses. But I will agree that a mustache is actually better of a disguise than glasses. By far, by far. But they've made checks to see if they would recognize you by the top half of your face. In this moment, there's like a little bit of a hubbub. There's some excitement on the ship. Some cool things have happened. But this is all droned out quickly by the sound of an alarm and a heavy bump beneath your boat. Heavy bump. This immediately, your heart sinks,
great.
Carl.
Yeah.
What is the first thing you do as the alarm begins and this bump has occurred?
I'm headed directly back to the engine room.
Okay. Carl begins dead sprinting for the engine room. What does everyone else do? I don't think there was a lot of safety precautions gone over on this boat as to what to do in case of an emergency, because they 100% sure there wouldn't be emergency.
Oh no! I've gotta get to the cargo hold. That's where all my products are. I gotta go.
Beryl's gonna try and just go to her room, I guess, and just the game's over, so she's gonna take her racket and she's just gonna go back to her room because when in doubt, go back to home base is what Daddy always said. So she's
Sure.
going home.
I imagine that Dibney is probably somewhere along Carl's route back to the boiler.
Are you gonna like tack on and follow him as an engineer?
I think that's probably the correct choice. I think that because an alarm is going off, Dibney is probably trying to actually get out of his engineer's uniform when Carl comes
don't
around.
rely on me. Do not rely on me.
Oh no, I may be responsible for this. Oh, hello.
So you're just in your long johns when Carl comes across you? Is that true?
Dang.
No, I'm probably half. I've still got my pants. I didn't take my pants off because I don't have other pants.
Sure.
So
I do still have. I've got slightly shrimp pants, and I'm at least half out of an engineer's coat when you come around the corner. Hello.
You're almost out of uniform. Put your coat back on. Head to the engine room. And he runs by.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Dibney follows the herd because that's where the energy's going.
Yep. Dibney follows, reluctantly buttoning his coat.
Okay. Each of you go to your respective places. Dibney and Carl running to the engine room, Samson running to the cargo hold, and Beryl returning to her room casually because what could be happening?
Yeah, Beryl doesn't know.
Yeah, it's just a bump.
She just won her first betting match. She's on cloud 9.
That noise is loud, and you know that in your room it'll be a bit muffled.
Yeah, it's kind of hurting my head. I'm gonna go where it'll be quieter.
One in the cargo hold will say, Samson, your things are safe. The alarm has ended by the time you've gotten there. I don't think that stops Samson from going to check because that's still
I gotta check my polygraphs.
But you check and everything is safe. Carl and Dibney sprinting to the mechanic's room. There was a problem. The ship did just so vaguely hit bottom, but nothing enough to damage the ship. It just seems that your readings of this area were wrong because we don't have like live reading equipment. We are judging based on maps and like decisions, I think, based on other people. I don't think we have like perfect depth reading equipment. So this was just a problem passing by one of the nearby islands. A small piece of coral had grown up a little bit more than we had expected, and the boat bottomed out just so slightly with a small scrape, but nothing enough to break the hull. People are still in a panic because this is a nerve-wracking situation. In this moment, as the panic is occurring, mostly around DDaD and Carl, I'd like the two of you to give me, I think Carl, it's going to be a perception check, but I think for DDaD, it's an investigation check, because you guys are in a very different frame of mind.
Ooh, that's a nat 20.
Hey,
I'm
That's a
sorry,
good
what was
time.
my check?
Nat 20 Club.
Investigation.
Investigation. That's an 11.
DDaD, there's so much hubbub happening around you. You get kind of swept up into like actually helping with the work because you're in disguise and you gotta try to put up some disguise, and there's a lot of anxiety and what the fuck is happening and how did I get up into working in the engineer's crew? Carl,
You've had a lot of jobs today.
you overhear a bit of chatter during this time. You're able to put together a few things. A few, I can't believe this is happening again. No one on this crew was on a different boat for this company. But some people are aware of more info that you get in that moment. You hear, I can't believe the Bermuda company would let another ship sink during the panic, right? I can't believe I actually got on the ship. They told me that this one would sink too. That kind of situation, you hear over and over again. You know, by the end of this is not the maiden voyage of the Bermuda Bay Company. This is just the maiden voyage of the Bermuda, like this specific boat. But they had led everyone to believe that this was their first company's maiden voyage with cutting edge and, top of the line parts and pieces. But in this moment, you're realizing that this is not really that. This is not any different than a boat should be going, as it's a bayliner.
Awesome. Okay. Well, then my goal is to get the crew back under control. So I'm going to bark orders and tell them to check the flanges and the valves and the piping. And once I've got them under control, I'm going to go check in with the captain to get an update from his perspective.
Yeah. DDaD, what about yourself? You've been swept up in this work a bit. As things start to calm down, how do you...
My suspicions have been confirmed.
I assume, do I overhear this stuff as I'm just amongst the crew? Or am I too, in it?
I think, DDaD, what you get is that, I think what you understand is that some of these crew members are more informed about this company than others. There's some that seem to, the way that they're talking. You've overheard some of these sentences, such as, I can't believe this is happening again, or something along the lines of this being not the first voyage for the company. And that's really clicking into place with that, note you received from your informant.
Well, then, once it cools down, I'm going to follow the hubbub of the crew as we head back into wherever it is that we go.
The crew quarters that you've been looking for this whole time.
The crew quarters I've been looking for. I'm gonna keep my eye out for a shower. But while I'm here in the crowd, I'm just gonna talk to whoever is around and about me, and So the blue, what is the name of the company? The blue...
Bermuda Bay.
The Bermuda Bay. So the Bermuda Bay. What is the, what's the claptrap on that shilly shelly?
Oh, you don't know?
I'm new to these ports.
What are you, some kind of pigeon? What are you, some kind of stoolie? What are you, some kind of
Son of
stool pigeon?
Stool pigeon? No, just rumors traveling around Miami docks of Bermuda Bay launching a ship from Puerto Rico to Bermuda in the first place to test them waters. Apparently that ship did not make it from Bermuda back to Miami. Rumors say there's something in the waters, although I don't know.
A lot of things in the water.
There's all sorts of things in the water. They think it's the water and not the boat. Hmm?
Why would it be a boat? This boat is fantastic. Tops of the hull. This thing is top of the line, they've told us.
I'm sure they said that about the last boat.
Well, fuck. Now I'm
Oh.
scared too. Hold on. Are you saying this ship is gonna sink? Cause I'll get off in Puerto Rico, no problem.
I think it's too late.
Oh no.
Okay, I guess that guy panics. I've got fuck. Hold on. Okay.
Oh, no, I've got a family.
I've got to figure some
Cannot
stuff.
be the best thought here, Dibney.
It's too late.
Dibney's had a rough day, man.
Dibney's struggling a bit, and that's okay. This has been tough, but you have learned a little bit about the flow. Like, your informant was correct. I think socially, Dibney has been struggling on this boat. This is not an investigation as in-depth as an investigation he's been on before.
I
Carl-
think this may or may not be like a Thursday for Dibney.
Yeah. Carl, you...
Dibney fights for every clue he finds. He really does.
Wants for them desperately.
gripping and scraping for those clues. Carl, you go to the captain. The captain's quarters is of a hubbub but calming down. The captain has given some orders to resume the route. We'll be reaching Puerto Rico by tomorrow morning. That was just I mean, as you enter in, you get the same idea that you have received, which is this is some coral. Like, we literally just a little bit of extra growth that we could not have expected because we don't have those machines, and the boat bottomed out only slightly because it more broke through the coral than anything.
All right. Well, he'll give the captain the update on the engine room and the status of the team. And it's a question of whether he would remember at that point to mention to the captain that there was a gambling issue and the bookie has now disappeared with passengers' money.
So Samson comes through the door to the captain of the chambers and says,
Okay.
"Captain, there's a gambling problem on the ship."
Oh no.
Okay.
It's not.
All right.
Captain, one of the bookies that you've hired on this ship is a crook.
Hold on. Who is this man? Can someone get this? I appreciate where you're coming from, sir, but guests are not allowed in the cargo bay or in the
Guests.
the
Captain,
whatever
I am a
this
customer.
building is.
Captain, I have products on this ship that were shifted during that silly little coral escapade.
And we will
whatever it
double check
was.
them when we reach Puerto Rico in the morning, but I want to be clear that you cannot be up here in the what the fuck is this whole shit area called?
All right, Captain. All right. Okay, I don't need to be in the brig. That's fine. I'll
brig.
just stand out here outside of the it's not the brig. The brig is jail. I'll stand outside the door here, Captain. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from and what's going on in your ship. I figured you'd want to be informed. You'd want to understand.
I'm going to
Where
look
I'm
at the
at.
captain and say, "Do you want me to get on the blower and call the buttons to take this man out of here?"
Oh, there's no need.
PDF now.
No buttons, no blowing. I'll just leave.
That's incredible.
Not trying to be a stool pigeon or anything, but just thought you might want to know what's going on your ship.
Fuck.
Anyway, I'll be off.
All right.
I'm just
Okay.
spitting.
I'm just spitting.
Be gone with you, flim flam.
You spit off down the hall, I guess, and the captain is left for a loop. He says, "Okay, apologies. As long as the engines are up and running, the rest of this journey should be fine. We're gonna stop in Puerto Rico. You may allow your your crew a small break. We'll be there for 2 days. They can do as they will, and then we need to dock back up as we will be leaving.
Aye, Captain. I'll let the crew know.
Okay.
And shall I leave the gambling problem to you, sir?
Yes. I'll have my goons handle it.
Oh no!
Not a good
From
sign if
outside-
if
from
captain
outside the
calls them
door.
as goons.
From outside the door, you hear Samson, I can help the goons.
First, they're gonna deal with him,
You hear footsteps running down the hallway.
and then 2 more sets of heavy footsteps following this first footsteps.
They're
Oh
gonna
my
arrest me, and
god!
I'm gonna meet Samson in the brig.
Oh man, you guys. I think Grace. I imagine 9 p.m. Yay.
Yeah,
We're
I
hitting
also kind of need to get to Boogie in myself. I think this is a good
Okay.
spot.
Perfect. I think what we're gonna do is that the ship, even with its troubles and the red flags, docks into Puerto Rico with no problems in its docking procedures at that point. You guys have 2 days to spend in town before the ship leaves back out for Bermuda. Your cruise nearly a third over. Simple. Just a badminton game and some fun times on a ship. Critically embarrassing ourselves.
I've got $400 now. It's great.
Next time we do this fun bit, it's going to be a quick sort of like passover of what you do while we're in Puerto Rico, because really the boat portion, I mean, all of it is the story. So in the end, if that is a session, whatever. But I would prefer if it was just like everyone has like a what I did when I was in Puerto Rico. We can do a roll to see how well it goes or what story it opens, and then the boat will leave, and that will be the next like, more intense like
I mean,
play portion.
We could probably do that really quick.
Yeah.
And just end with what we did in Puerto Rico.
I love it. Let's end with what we did in Puerto Rico. As we're here for a couple days, how did each of you spend your time in the beautiful island of Puerto Rico?
I try to get some local business owners to invest in my big ship.
Your big ship?
Yeah, this big ship that I came on. Yeah, I think you guys should invest in the big ship.
So you are a snake.
It's all legal.
Fuck.
How
Okay.
much? I can give you stake in the big ship. Whenever we come back around. Whenever we come back through, I'll give you guys your returns. Pretty fast. Ship business goes fast.
You know what? Give me the check. Let's just do the checks while we're doing. I'll resolve them as we go.
16.
You actually do get some money. Some people jump on board. Big ship business? Are you kidding me?
BSB.
What you do discover in this time is that there was a cruise that left recently. The locals don't know who it was or what it did, but a few weeks ago, about a month ago, a big cruise ship did leave Puerto Rico and capsize out in the sea. So it's a little edgy right now, but you do get a few investors. I'll say you get a cool... We're investing. I don't know. A cool $200. Big bones. Sweet. Big bones in investing. When you come back around, they expect a return on their investment. They don't know what that means in this moment, the people you've spoken to.
Yeah, we didn't nail down any ROI, so
Nope.
That's okay. We'll figure it out. When we get there.
Beryl, how do you spend your couple days in Puerto Rico?
Beryl is gonna be just taking in all the sights, definitely buying a few trinkets. She is partial to jewelry. And she has full access to mommy and daddy's money.
And you made $300 from a badminton game.
I did, and I took those $300 and I went and I bought myself some jewelry.
Okay, just
So
raw spend $300. I don't think any roll necessary. You get a few charms for your bracelet, and then also, why don't you describe a few pieces of jewelry that you find here on this island?
Yeah, I'm looking for a obviously silver necklace, but Puerto Rican inspired. I don't want something that I could just get at home. Obviously, I'm on vacation. So I find a lovely beaded necklace. And I make no attempts to haggle for prices. Whatever they say, I'm like, yep, okay. I
Easy.
give them the money. I don't care. Beryl's having a great day. She won a badminton match.
God, I should have set myself up as a jewelry dealer. That would have been so great. Oh yeah, this is $300.
$300? Perfect. You buy a finely handcrafted. Why don't you give me a insight check to see what kind of deal you get.
It's a let's see what it's a 19. What is there
The
any
jeweler
fucking
tries
thing?
to overcharge you, but you are able to recognize the quality. We wear a lot of silver jewelry, and you pull it down to 150, half of your money, whatever you spent, easy. Not really. You pull it down. You point out a few imperfections because you have some perfect jewelry, and you point out a few imperfections, not expecting a reduction, but receiving one nonetheless. To $150.
Beryl is just that likable. It's hard to not like Beryl.
Oh yeah. This was all done in kindness too. They were like, you know what, you're totally right. Why don't I bring the price down a little bit? I'm so happy that you're enjoying yourself here, and commercializing my business. Thank you. How do the other two of you spend your days in Puerto Rico?
Well, Carl's going to let the crew go off. While they're at the dock, he's going to inspect all the exterior of the ship he can see for damage. And then he's going to talk to all the dock workers to see if he can glean anything else about the Bermuda Bay Company. And then he'll spend some time in the local tavern or pub or bar or whatever they've got and see if he can ply some more information out of anybody. He's also going to stock up on liquor for himself and to celebrate with the crew when they do a good job. So
Sure, I love that. Roll me an investigation check on your investigations into
Alrighty.
Bermuda
If
Bay.
they do a good job.
If they do a good job.
Let's see. Investigation is an 11.
The Bermuda Bay has launched ships from this port recently. That's about it. Nothing super special. They did some test runs towards Bermuda. You don't really hear anything about that.
All right.
No problems reported from those that you speak to. You're able to find decent deals on alcohol. Maybe one too good that you get actually distracted from continuing your investigation and enjoy a rather decent vintage of an alcohol you haven't come across in a wild market. And kind of leave your investigation to the wayside as you do get this bottle and a little bit more for your crew. Dibney.
All right.
This is the report from the Daily Dibney. I'm hidden inside a cargo crate. I didn't go to Puerto Rico. I hid in a cargo crate, and I paid a crew member $200 to bring me food.
So much money. That's so much money.
You paid him 2 yards to give you dinner.
I sure did, to bring me food for 2 days in my crate. At night I snuck out and I tried to read the captain's logs, and I probably have to make a check to see how well I did that.
Investigation check or a stealth check, up to you.
It's gotta be investigation.
That feels better. Is that your stat of choice too? What's your stat of choice?
Oh, do I get proficiency in a stat? Do I get just +1 to a
One
stat?
single ability score, yeah.
Well, I guess it's gonna have to be. I think it's gonna have to be intelligence because his plans are pretty solid.
Oh, not to a stat, but just
his
just to a skill. Like a
To a
proficiency
skill?
in one
Oh.
skill you get. Sorry, that's what I meant. I apologize. That was confusing. One skill you get proficiency in as commoner. And also you get a couple as whatever your background is too, just so everyone knows that. But
probably deception.
okay.
I think I'm trying based on how he's behaved so far. I think that's probably the way.
I figured it was something along that line or investigation, and that's why I was asking in this moment, just because you are a
Yeah.
investigative journalist.
I am an investigative journalist, but it seems like the way I go about it is not.
Costumes and deceiving, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what
Yeah.
the quality of my my actual piece is.
I imagine that you'd be a great process server. You've been served. They would never know it's coming.
Hello, it's me, your milkman.
You appear in the trash. You wipe the shrimp from your torso, and then you give them the paper.
You clean the shrimp off of yourself and you hand them their service. What's your
Hello, I
role,
know I
shrimp
climbed out
man?
of a barrel of shrimp, but here is some papers. I that's an 18.
Okay, you are able, in a dark night, as the HQ is in the midst of a changeover. There's some crew members outside, just like discussing the goings on of the night. Somehow, you're able to slip in and give the captain's log a read over in an empty space for a moment. The captain is worried. He has info. Across these logs, you discover that the Bermuda Bay Company has in fact launched their maiden voyage from Puerto Rico not but a month ago, towards Bermuda Islands, just to test the path for themselves. That boat capsized in not a storm. There was no storm, there was no weather problems, but the boat capsized. And through that, the Bermuda Bay has promised the captain and paid the captain handsomely to assure that they know the correct path and that they have the correct path now, and that is no problem. But the captain is actually still pretty worried about this as he is getting ready to depart Puerto Rico. You see that he's more worried about a storm. That's mostly what he's convinced himself of. You see written earlier on that there was no storm, but the captain has convinced himself that he is worried about heavy weather and the boat capsizing in heavy weather because he doesn't know what else to convince himself of. He also probably has written with that 18 check.
This is Dibney Smoot. I'm in a crate, and I'm also worried. I'm worried, and I'm in a crate, and I wish I wasn't in this crate, and I can't wait until we get back out to sea so I can leave, because the captain's worried. Now I'm also worried. I wish I had gotten off the boat.
And in already pitch blackness, we fade to black on Dibney in his crate.
Samson's log. I'm feeling great. I've made $600 so far.
$600. You have a lot of paper to help out in the future if you need paper or money, cash money.
Yeah, I've got hella scratch if I need to buy my way out of a situation.
Hot scratch.
Hot scratch.
As long as no one catches the whiff of shrimp.
Hey, wait. Does this C note? Does this C note
my
smell
money!
like?
My money might
It's-
smell like shrimp.
They'll know it's you. They're going to go around and be like, I need to smell your money. This is the shrimp man. I know it's him. Oh, perfect. We'll see what happens next time on Bermuda Bay as when we return. GG's. I'll at least, for next time we play, I'll at least give everyone the level up to a court. Well, no, because that's like gift stuff. That's when you start getting the access to magic. So not yet, unfortunately.
I've got plenty of gifts already.
Yeah,
I've earned almost $4,000.
you got money. Everyone got money. Kind of.
I made 300, but then I spent some of it. But it's okay.
And you got paid for a job well done. Mike got paid his normal salary upon receiving into Puerto Rico. Good job. The captain says
Thank
as
you.
he
Thank you
shakes
very
your
much.
hand and hands you the normal amount of money, whatever that is, for Bermuda.
Well,
all right.
it's 1920, so like $3.
Here's $4, the captain says.
Woo!
Woo!
I'm rich.
So far, we're up 300, 600, fucking $3,900 and $4.
Looking good.
Looking good. All right, honestly, I'm already like in preparation for the next arc of this like little journey in the boat.
Yeah, it's
So
fun.
next time that we just want a little spot to take a break, or if we want to continue that until there's a moment, like totally fine. Good to go.
I'm hyped to throw this person into the fantasy realms.
I like our people. Yeah, exactly. I like a bunch of humans that are indirectly tied to being humans that are going to be eventually fronted with orcs and shit. The moment there's a bow and arrow, everyone's confused.
Yeah.
Hello, yesterday I was just a dude.
All right, good games,
All right.
guys. I'll
GGs.
catch
Yeah.
Catch you guys on the next
Definitely
time.
GGs.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
As for everyone else, I appreciate you guys coming in and joining on this episode of Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice, a side campaign titled Bermuda Bay. Thank you for coming to join. Again, we will continue this session, this group at some point down the line. It's fun, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's quite a break from what we've been doing, which is a little bit more like high fantasy, intense Dungeons and Dragons playing, which a fun, good time if you're enjoying our episodes on Spotify. Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice, a wider world you'll find on Spotify. Good fun time. Yeah. Thank you for joining us for our little joyous jaunt away from that, though. We'll return to that probably next week. Either way, the episodes will continue with that on the bi-weekly basis they have been going, which is not this coming Thursday, but the following Thursday, a new episode will be released. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you follow the channel to see when we go live in the future, and I will see you folks next time.